Hey guys, I'm Dr. Goggin. You can call me Sunny. I want to tell you about what I consider the most exciting shift in medicine, and that is using things like light, energy, current as medical therapeutics and to support the body's health. And I'm going to talk about light. I'm going to talk about the specific thing that I use to go from feeling so tired that I thought I was going to have to stop medicine to being a woman that, I mean, I ran a half marathon recently, and that's something that I want for everybody. I want everybody who is feeling like they're declining or feeling like they're aging, feeling like they don't have the strength they want to have, or they want to optimize performance, or they have pain that needs to go away. This is something for you, right? Uh, the the so let me just get right into it. So I was a nurse before I was a doctor. I went to medical school at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, and I became a family doctor. It was full spectrum family practice. I have done a lot of different things over my career. And I found myself at one point in my career sick, which led to me doing extra training in functional medicine, looking at things like mold toxicity and complex medical illness. And what that means is I started to help people who had normal labs but felt terrible, whether it was pain or just reactions to food or being really, really, really tired, like I was. Because what happened was thought I was going to have to quit medicine. I had a time where my memory was so bad, I'd walk out of a patient's room and I'd not remember, our conversation. And I really did consider stopping medicine at that time. And so I had to find tools, and I had to look for out of the box tools. And I've always been a seeker, right? Some people like the comfort of, what everybody tells them to do. I'm one of those people who I'm an out of the box thinker. I see new technology. I understand these basic physics principles that are going to change the face of medicine for both you and me. And understanding that when somebody brought me these, what I'm going to talk about today is actually the light technology Lifewave patches. When someone brought them to me, and we'd been working on their pain a long time, and their pain had gone away. And I'm like, well, what did you do? And they showed me the patches, and they said, we put these patches on, and within 10 minutes, the pain had disappeared. Well, of course, that makes you a little skeptical, like, yeah, you put a sticker on and the pain goes away. Well, I'll tell you as we go through why that would work. And it's so amazing. So I tried these on my arthritic ankle, and I was able to run like a week, about after several days after wearing them. I thought, I might be able to run again. And when I was in my 20s, I had a really weird kind of fracture. I had a Liz Franck fracture of my foot, and I had twisted and broken my ankle at least 3 times before that. And the doctor said to me, "You're not gonna run on that ever again without pain." That's what kind of thing is that to say to a kid, right? And so maybe I hadn't hit my head, but it always hurt. It hurt when I put it down in the morning. Of course, running was not going to be an option. I couldn't really squeeze it into my ski boot. I had to have special boots because I couldn't get it in. In fact, I kept my rear entry ski boots for like 30 years. And people would look at those boots and they'd go like, who has boots like that, right? Because they opened so wide, I could get my foot in. And so I thought I'd never do these things again. And I wear those patches for a week, and oh my gosh, the pain went away. And then I was able to start to run. And it just changed my life. And I'll tell you more about how the other patches changed my life too. But I've had a dramatic recovery from being a woman that could not jog a block. I had to, in fact, we purchased a home that had a wheelchair ramp because I was worried I was declining so fast. I had muscle weakness, I had muscle twitches, which is scary because my brother has Lou Gehrig's disease. And I thought, gosh, am I getting Lou Gehrig's disease? And that's where you lose your ability to control your muscles. And so I knew that I couldn't carry the kids up the stairs anymore. I couldn't actually read to my children because of vocal fatigue. So all these signs were looking bad. And we bought the house with a wheelchair ramp expressly because of that. And then, I started to use the patches. and honestly, totally changed my life. So it was really a big thing. And when I started to look, so I got these patches and I began to look at the technology here, and when you look at these big universities that we all respect, like Harvard and Stanford, they're all looking at light therapy, what light can do to people, to tissues. And the fact is that when you shine a light on cells in culture or on people, stuff happens. You know that when you actually get in the sunlight, you're going to make some vitamin D. Your skin produces vitamin D from that light interaction. Well, you know what? There are different ways that we can use light therapeutically, right? It's already used in dermatology because that's the obvious place because you get such clear response. It's on the surface. But what we understand now is that it goes deeper than that, and there's going to be more and more therapeutic uses of light. And I love it when we're helping people understand why it is helping and looking for those mechanisms. Still is a search for what exactly are the mechanisms because our body is complex. But this is a picture showing a packet of light, a photon of light, that's the HV, shining on a cell. And you see that little the lightning bolt is pointing toward the mitochondria, and that's your ATP producer. This is a busy slide, but it's to illustrate the fact that a single photon of light changes a lot of things. It changes what's happening in the cell. It can cause a increase in your energy production in the cell, which I think is one of the primary things. The other thing it can do is change what proteins are being made. And that's one of the primary targets. Why this is important for you to understand is as we get older, we start to express different proteins. Your DNA does stay basically the same, but you begin to express different proteins. And if you could turn the switch back to start to express a younger version of yourself, this is when we start to get reverse aging. This is big. And we think about how a photon can affect a photon, a packet of light, can affect a lot of things. And PBM, that's photobiomodulation. It can affect you making blood vessels. It can affect swelling. It can affect how well you're draining your toxins out. It can affect how cells move in the body. There's so many different things that already are clearly shown in the research. Well, that's why people are using it as a therapy. And you might go to a chiropractor's office and you might get laser therapy or something like that. It can be extremely effective when used therapeutically. Well, what if there was a way that we were able to use this at home where we didn't have to buy an expensive light, we didn't have to actually go to training to understand how to utilize it, and we could just do it something, a nice DIY thing. Well, part of understanding how this works is knowing that you guys are beings of light. Isn't that cool, right? All the religious traditions know this, we're beings of light, but in fact, we put off light and we are just moving electrons, right? Within our cells. That's how the nerve impulses get propagated, get run along the nerves. It's all electricity. And so when we can start to understand how we are just a bundle of electrical connections, we can start to influence that by using light. One way, and here's a neat picture of how our body puts out light. We're putting out low levels of photons at all times. And this is the way that the patches work, is they reflect off light of the body back to into the body, and that is, they don't give medication of any kind. And as a functional medicine physician, I really want to be using things that do not have drugs in them and are natural. And so this is an all-natural way to increase the light in the body. There was a swimming and about, I think it's been about 15 years ago, an Olympic swim team, the United States, did really well, and they were using these patches, so much so that the patches were investigated as potential doping because they seemed to have an advantage, right? Well, they took the patches to see if they were getting something from them, and there's nothing coming out of the patches. All it is a reflective surface. And understanding this biotech requires that you understand a little bit about light. When light hits a surface, it can be either reflected, absorbed, or transmitted. And depending on the surface, certain crystals are going to reflect back certain wavelengths. And that's what makes this specific, is that if you get the right crystal, you're going to reflect back a certain wavelength that'll cause changes in the body. And when we look at some of the research, that's one of the nice things about the company for me as a physician, is that there's a lot of research that's gone into these products, and it feels deeply science-based and rooted in actually the new science of changing people's lives with energetics. And when we look at one of the patches is for inflammation. It's called the Eon patch, and we see clear dropping of inflammatory markers using the Eon patch. This is a nice picture of a horse, Center, and Center is 31 years old, and he used that Eon patch. Somebody put that patch on him for 6 months, and he looks like a new horse to me. I think that it's like horses don't lie, and this shift is just huge. And then you can see this is called thermography. So it's reading of heat coming from the body. And in the first one is the before, and the second one, this one here is the before, this one's the after. And you can see that the horse is cooled down immensely from using that Eon patch. And so that's one example of how the patches can change things in the body that are measurable. The next thing is really, what do we want? We want increased vitality. We'd like to turn back time, reverse age if we could, and this company is truly on the edge of doing that kind of thing for you. But not by injecting stem cells. We don't, that's controversial, right? You don't know where the stem cells come from. They're way expensive, and they may not even work. There's risks associated with stem cell injections, and it's super expensive. So what if we were able to increase the stem cells within our own body and activate them to a younger state? And so this is how, when I talked about how light shining on cells can actually change what's happening at the cellular level. And when we use Lifewave X39, that is the stem cell activating patch, and its results are stunningly amazing. And when you use the patch, what you experience is definitely more energy. You get better sleep. You're starting to have dramatic pain relief, like I experienced with my foot, and like the person who brought them into me experienced with their hand. And because this is reverse aging, there is a clear reduction in wrinkles. I'm going to show you some pictures of that too. Improved sports performance, scar reduction, and then basically we're turning back the clock and healing faster using this patch. Now, people ask me, how long is it going to take for me to notice all these great effects? Some people feel better in very short order. Some people will put the patch on and already feel energy the same day. Now, you understand that what you're doing is you're calling the troops of your healing power. That's your stem cells, because when you were little, you had a lot of them. As we get older, we have fewer. But they have to do the work from the inside out to support your body to heal. So it is like calling on your body's wisdom to heal. And I think that's kind of cool. And therefore, if you took 50 years to get where you are, it might take a little longer to help with the healing. So that's why I do say that while you might get results right away, giving these a 3-month try, you owe it to yourself to do this, because there's a 3-month money-back guarantee, right? And so it's worth it to see what's going to happen in your body. And this is a gentleman who had some significant skin improvement when he used X39. The same thing we see with this gal. I mean, she definitely looks different. When you see 1 year after starting the X39, a huge change. Even after 1 month, you see a bit significant change. Another person, you definitely see less around the eyes when you're looking at her picture. And so those are things on the outside, but what do people experience on the inside? This is just X39, all right? And I'm about to tell you something. There's another patch that improves muscle gain and strength, improves stamina, and improves cardiovascular health. So this is only X39, better sleep. Oh my gosh, my knee doesn't hurt. And when I can do that in the office and using one of the patches called Icewave patch, I can actually in office have somebody leave having not give them any Tylenol or ibuprofen, just putting a patch on them that's not medicinal, have a reduction in pain. And that's profound, right? It's really big. So now the X49, this is I told you about the X39. They just came out with this patch last week, which is going to change your life, right? And it is the perfect companion to use these two together. They both work on activating stem cells, but in different ways. And so what does the X49 do? What do we really want to achieve? We want to have better sports performance. We want to be resilient. We want to recover. We want to get stronger as we age. And we want to have no pain. Please take away the pain, right? So when we think about this technology, this is really technology for age reversal. And I do know that the company is going to be coming out with something that actually lengthens telomeres in the next couple of years, which is going to be exciting. That's another way that you might be able to invoke age reversal and lengthen lives. So what does X49 do? You build muscle safely. I'm going to show you some research around this too. You're going to be able to recapture strength if you've lost it over the life. And we see improved stamina, ability to go for longer, go for faster, which is so exciting. I mean, honestly, I feel like I do feel like I've been plugged into a battery. I've always been a little Energizer bunny, kind of like, but now I feel like I really am that. Instead of getting I usually get up early. I'm like 4:30 or so in the morning, but and usually at 8:30 I'm just like, I'm just ready to go to bed. And now last night it was 10 o'clock when I went to bed, which is not necessarily great. I mean, I really do have to make myself go to bed. You guys, you need 7 hours of sleep. So we really want to get at least 6 hours of sleep and quality sleep at that. But that's what's nice about the X39 helps me sleep. The X49, well, it definitely makes me have energy, but I still am able to fall asleep just fine. The other thing that X49 does is it improves cardiovascular health. It helps you overall to reduce your cardiovascular risk burden. And I don't know who doesn't need that, especially in America where cardiovascular, like heart attacks and strokes, are a big thing. And, so let's look at like just X49 on its own. These folks, they didn't change anything with their routine. They just added the patch. And when they were tested for how many sit-ups they could do, there was a 70% improvement in sit-ups. There was 80% improvement in push-ups, squats, roughly a 50%, biceps. Their biceps curl strength doubled. Their grip strength was up by 75%. So these are things you can measure, all right? So if you're thinking about, well, maybe I should try this, you can measure that, right? What's your grip strength? What's your bicep curl? What's your max? And then if we look at the combination of X39 and X49, we see X49 on its own does some things. You have improvement in calories burned. You're able to go faster and further. And this is very interesting, a decrease in pulse. So what that suggests is that your cardiovascular system is more efficient. And when we look at these together, they build bodies, but differently. And if you add X49, you get an increased fat loss, so 11% over 60 days, and it makes the body leaner and stronger, so more powerful, more stamina. And using these together leads to a dramatic change in what's happening in your body. And on top of that, when they checked people, there was a lowering of blood pressure. So this is something, I'm not going to say this is not a hypertension treatment, all right? But if you take these and you're on blood pressure medication, you need to follow your blood pressure because you might heal the vascular lining. The AHK-CU, that is the peptide that's increased by X49, and it helps to heal the lining of the blood vessels, and that's probably why that blood pressure drop is seen. So you may not require as much medication. Interesting, right? And so here's a picture of a before and after, a 74-year-old gentleman. And you see definitely fat loss, increase in lean muscle, significant increase in fat-free mass. That's the muscle mass. And then look at the health risk reduction. He started off with 53% higher risk than ideal, dropped that to 20% higher risk than ideal. So this is really I mean, do you have anybody in your family that you'd like to live longer and stay with you and be better? Or maybe you want to have more energy, better sleep, more muscle, more strength, more stamina to like run after your kids or chase after your grandkids? This is a no risk way to see what can happen in 3 months because of the money back guarantee. It's huge. You will recover faster. I'll tell you what, this is, you know, me, girl, not able to run at all, goes to running a half marathon, which I never thought in a million years I would do. And that's just been profound for me to feel. So I remember the day when I said to my husband, who is a long distance runner, I will never run. I just remember that conversation so clearly, and I remember, shedding tears through it. And now to have accomplished this and see that it's possible for you, it's possible for your family to have this happen for you, right? So what we want to do is activate those stem cells so that they make different proteins and we have different genes being expressed in our body. And when the people who were using the X49, everybody's feeling like they had better energy, right? This is when I was using X49, I noticed on days that I felt lazy, I still had this need to get up and do something. I went to the gym and it kept my momentum going, whether I was running or lifting. So very constant energy and focus. I mean, I've had that experience personally. This is a little fuzzy slide. Keep you going and going. Yeah. I mean, I felt like the Energizer Bunny. This person felt like Popeye. No joke. It is the real thing. And people who have typically done like a pre-workout drink or a pre-workout bar, instead doing X49 because it really does help you sustain the workout. And how does it work? These are little stickers that big that you put one at the bottom of your neck and then one just below the belly button. And the X39 patch elevates GHK-Cu, which is copper peptide that has been shown to activate like 30% of your genome to a younger state. All right, so let that sink in. This really is epigenetically changing the expression of your cells. And there's nothing like that out there. This has clearly been shown to help energy, pain, wound healing, wrinkles, sleep. And if that's not enough, let's add the X49 that's going to improve muscle mass, improve fat loss, so body composition shift, cardiovascular health, strength, and stamina. And this is, I mean, it really is life-changing, you guys. So if athletes who have this are at a competitive advantage. So if you're coaching a team, this is very important for you. You need to put these stickers on your team and understand that there's not any medicine going in. It's exceptionally safe, and it really works. These are available all over the world, right? In every different language. And so I encourage you to, on your favorite sports teams, you should look for the patch because people will be wearing them more and more now that this is out, the cat's out of the bag, you guys. And it's nice because there's a line of patches. This is my medicine cabinet. I don't use ibuprofen or Tylenol or anything like that. I use patches. There's a patch for sleep. There's a patch for pain. There's a patch for increasing glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. There's the inflammation patch. And so these are really amazing ways that you can change what's happening in your body at the cellular level. I love the energy enhancer patch too. I always do that when I'm doing my long runs. There's even a patch for horses, which, like I said, horses don't lie. And there's a horse that was injured at a rodeo, actually got somehow they got caught coming over a jump and ended up on their back. So they had significant injuries, and this horse did not want to pasture. It just wanted to stand there because clearly it was in pain. And I had friends that went to this horse and put patches on it and immediately started to see those releases that you see with horses when they get more comfortable, right? It started to chew, started a little bit of forward movement. And another horse that we worked with at a rodeo had an injury to their leg and was not putting their foot down at all. And so we went to the horse, we applied the patches, and within 3 minutes, the horse started to put the foot down and started to walk in their stable. So I mean, when that happens to a horse, you're like, dang, something's definitely happening there, right? So it's the kind of thing that you have to try it to believe it, because it seems too good to be true, for sure. And then there's the other thing. When I came across this, I was like, the people brought it to me, and then I saw that the distribution style is network marketing, and that definitely was like I'm not sure how I feel about the network marketing part of it, right? Then I tried the patches, and I felt like it's almost a guilty feeling if I don't share it with people, even though it's network marketing. I know that that's something that some people have had maybe negative experiences with, but when you find a diamond, do you toss the diamond away or do you hang on to it? Well, so this is like a medical diamond, and I'm holding on to it tight. And I hope that helps you understand that network marketing is just, it's like social distribution, right? It's like friends sharing with friends what works for them. And so, friend, I'm sharing with you, friend, this actually works and you should try it. So these products are unique. I'm going to talk a little bit about the company. Unique products, lots of patents, research and science based. I feel good as a physician sharing this with you. And the time is now. I mean, stem cells are extremely huge worldwide issue, and there's a lot of money being put into stem cells. Isn't it nice that we can access the benefits of stem cells for like a fraction of the cost of going, you're not going to spend 20K to go get stem cells. This is something where this is what I suggest to people, is that they try this. And if they try this and they feel like it really works for them, it's possible that you can make commissions or even build a business with this by telling other people about it so that they can feel good too. And that's the real thing, is that we're about trying to share health and share ways that we can optimize. And it's very easy to share when something has changed your life so dramatically, right? So the first thing is to actually try some X39 and X49. You need to, right now there's a special on it. I don't know how long this special is going to last, but there's a special on both X39 and X49. And the bundle together is $169. That's $100 off for people who are preferred customers and distributors. And it is so worth it. I can't even tell you how happy I am to be able to tell you that you could get that for $169. Holy moly. So this is an opportunity because of the stem cell revolution and because of the anti-aging revolution. If you wanted to be a distributor, I'll show you how to do this. This is a video that you would share with people. The company has a lot of great videos that you can share with people, and there's step-by-step guidance. The company handles it all, right? You don't have to buy a bunch of patches. You just have to get your own patches and use them so you understand the product. So you use a X39, X49 on yourself, and then any things that your customers buy are shipped directly to them, so you don't have to buy a bunch. There's customer service that they manage all the supply chains, they keep doing research for us, thank you, and making new cool stuff like this telomere product that's going to come out pretty soon. I can't wait for that. So they also have an app and a website, so you get all the bells and whistles that come with that kind of social distribution network. There's several different ways that people can make commissions or earn money using Lifewave, and if you want to hear the details on that, I'm happy to go into that with you. So what do you want to do? Get started. I'm going to put the link below where you can try some of these amazing life-changing patches. And if someone else has referred you to this video, they are going to put their link below it so that you can purchase from their website. So I hope that this has been a helpful presentation. I'm really excited to be able to share this with you, and I appreciate your time watching. I know everybody's busy, and I get busy. So change your life. Try these patches, you guys, and I'll see you on the other side.